There's something I need to live with y'all with. I am racist. Whoa, sorry, wrong word. Prejudiced. There we go, that's the word. I am prejudiced. It's true. I am prejudiced towards people who, quote unquote, don't really listen to music. Because what's that supposed to mean? One of the most profound art forms to ever exist, arguably one of the biggest outlets for human expression in the arts, and something that has existed long before the modern era, dating back to 1400 BCE, and has been constantly changing throughout world history, and yet it's something you somehow don't engage in. It's always odd to me when people say that they don't really listen to music. There are millions of songs, with just as much of a varied genre of them, to a point where surely there is something out there that you must like. It's like when people talk about dating struggles and get hit with the, "Oh, you just haven't found the right one yet." As excruciatingly annoying of an exchange that is, it is generally how I react to that sentence. Just like how every Pokemon can be someone's favorite, I fully believe everyone out there has a favorite song, whether they know it yet or not. Welcome back to the show, everyone. My name is Ian, and today we're going to be talking about something different. We're going to be talking about music. Before I continue, I want to say thank you wholeheartedly for 2,000 subscribers. These videos are really fun to make, and I put a lot of my heart and soul into them, so please subscribe if you want to talk about please subscribe if you want to see more. Quick warning though, this video will get very personal and we'll talk about a lot of emotional and harsh concepts, so please be wary going forward. Now, music is a very important part of my life. Always has been, and I do owe that mostly to my dad. As someone who grew up in the 70s, he has seen music transform in ways no one could imagine, and he has introduced me to a lot of really cool groups and artists. Music has always had a very leading role in my life. No matter the genre, I always found something I could enjoy. Yet, after 20 years of being alive, I can without a doubt say that not even I have a favorite song, or even a favorite genre. Not because I haven't found the right one, but because out of all the songs, albums, and music I've listened to and enjoyed over the years, I feel like giving one song or one group a defining title of my favorite is just impossible. Because even now, I don't think I know what being my favorite song entails. Is it a song I just like listening to all the time? Is it a song that is connected to a really impactful moment in my life? Or is it a song that just means a lot to me? Well, the good news is that today we are getting rid of the word favorite. Favorite is a slur for this video. The F slur. Wait. Today I'm going to talk about a specific genre of music that, while niche, has genuinely impacted and transformed my view on life and how I think a lot of people could benefit from exploring it. Now, when you think about music and music you like listening to, or your favorite songs, ideally, I do imagine that they are sung by humans. Granted, that's not the best segue, considering that technically humans are still singing in this genre of music, but whatever. I would like to introduce you to Hatsune Miku, a Vocaloid star born in 2007. Now, to those of you who don't know what that means, let me give a quick rundown. Vocaloid is a digital software engine that, in this specific example, samples voice notes from real people and turns them into essentially fully functioning vocal instruments. It's a voice bank that can be used to make music and can be pitched in tune to the user's liking. The biggest mascot of this technology is Hatsune Miku, a Vocaloid star from Japan. Hatsune Miku exists as a mascot for her Vocaloid bank, and giving each voice bank their own anime-styled persona would take off after Hatsune Miku became such a global phenomenon. Miku was released in 2007 by Krypton Media for the Vocaloid software, and her name means first sound of the future. Much like how there are songs and genres for everyone, there are hundreds of Vocaloid personas, Miku, Kaito, Rin, and Len, all having different sounds. But one stood out among the rest to me. That one is Kasane Teto. Originally created as an April Fool's joke, Kasane Teto was introduced as an April Fool's joke in 2008 as a parodical hoax of a fake Vocaloid star, even down to the design where Miku was blue, she was red. They wore almost the exact same clothes, had the same number of letters in their name, and both shared striking twin-tail hairstyles. However, Teto seemingly exploded in popularity and went from a fan-made joke to now a well-established identity in Vocaloid and vsynth culture. Vsynth is vocal synth, by the way, and while not owned by Krypton directly, is still a major part of this space. Due to the differences in licensing and pricing, Teto's voice bank is preferred by a lot of the community due to its more affordable nature and passionate, dedicated community. Vocaloid as a technology would also influence many, as there are several software engines that now exist for Vocaloid and vocal synth technology, such as Utao, Synthesizer V, and probably a lot more. In 2003, however, Teto would see a surge in popularity due to new voice bank release of hers that were used in trending songs. like Mesmerizer. So, in short, Vocaloid is a digital vocal synth instrument originated from Japan, made from real human voices that anyone can use to pitch and tune to their liking and can be used to make music. And also has an anime mascot to go with it. Make sense yet? No? Okay. Jamie Page. One of the most iconic new age Vocaloid creators would release Machine Love in June 2024, made as a tribute to a song from 2008 called Song of the Eared Robot, a song about a computer falling in love and hidden truth and emotion inside of an artificial body. Machine Love mirrors this concept and is a song about a machine who fell in love with its creator/user. Most of Jamie's songs actually follow this theme, the theme of existence as an artificial being searching for meaning. Now, once again, part of this song's significance comes once more from the time in my life where I had found it. Growing up, I was bullied, as a lot of people were. I was the fat weird kid who talked too much and was always drawing in the back of class or talking about things like anime, YouTube animation memes, Hatsune Miku, video games, Sonic, Five Nights at Freddy's, cartoons, and stuff like that. I wasn't into sports. I had mediocre grades due to my lack of eagerness for academic wealth because of my misery in school growing up as an undiagnosed kid on the spectrum. All that to say, growing up, I was really insecure about a lot of things that have well carried into my adulthood. Things like my body, my looks, my interests, my emotions, my masculinity, girls, boys, and most of my childhood was unfortunately associated with a lot of moments like this, ridden with imposter syndrome and self-deprecation and anxiety about who I am, who I want to be, or who I should be. I was heavy into electric music as a kid because of artists like Daft Punk, Deadmau5, Living Tombstone, and naturally, as a Sonic fan, I eventually was exposed to Hatsune Miku in 2015 through Just Dance. I don't know how or why it happened. I believe I was dared as a joke by someone, but something about Miku's design drew me to her. But deep down, I was also kind of conflicted, because boys don't like this kind of thing. I had a lot of moments like that as a kid, where I questioned my own masculinity because of things I liked, whether it was Hatsune Miku, Lady Gaga, Kirby. But funnily enough, I think Kirby, along with Steven Universe, is probably one of the first characters that allowed me to be more comfortable in my masculinity throughout the years. But that's not what this was about. After that day, I had become really interested and infatuated with Vocaloid culture, and her connection with Sonic made it even better for me. I would talk to maybe one other person at the time who shared this kind of interest, and as a product of aforementioned bullying, I started trying to keep to myself more, and that's exactly what would happen eventually. I had a small crew of people who made it all worth it as a kid and even as a young adult, but that never made the insecurity go away. My urge to fit in still stood, but I didn't want to throw that away. That kind of a process is still very present in my life now as a young adult, as a part of growing up. In 2021, I had gone through a really traumatic time in my life. I won't get too into the details, but it revolves around the idea of betrayal, bullying, and kindness being directly taken advantage of, and blah blah blah. Once again, the concept of me just wanting to fit in with people and slowly letting myself change in negative ways because of it. And due to being at the height of puberty as well, I was dealing with horrible mental health and fluctuating emotions already as well. It's something I failed to get over properly for a while. Fast forward to 2024, I had realized in therapy that for some reason I have carried that shame for the things I'm into because I'm still subconsciously afraid of being made fun of for this stuff. So one day, I just decided to throw it all away. On my way to work one morning, I started to revisit old franchises and communities I used to love as a kid. In the first half of 2024, I started getting really into Transformers again. But it was funnily enough that shortly after Machine Love had released, I had recognized Teto specifically from Triple Baka, one of my favorite songs growing up. I really liked this song, and I really enjoyed how Jamie was able to tune and pitch her voice for this song. And then shortly after this song, where Bird Brain came out, and I was a very casual listener at the time, and I was enjoying it. But as I listened to the song more, and started to listen more intently to its lyrics, I began to resonate a little bit with what the song was talking about. And I know you're thinking, like, Ian, you're not a robot, you stupid fool. And you're right, I'm not. But one thing I definitely am known for by a lot of people in my life is that I am what is considered a professional people pleaser. I put other people's priorities and emotions and struggles before my own, to the point where I was genuinely questioning my own humanity at times, wondering if I just exist to be present in the lives of others without living a meaningful one myself. I began to resonate with these lyrics, relating to the concept of existing to help others and yearning for more individuality and connection with myself and the world around me. It made me realize that the way I go about my life in many aspects is akin to that of a machine. I wouldn't give myself the time to feel, to cry, or to live, as I always just absorbed in how I can help or be there for others. And even though I was numb to this routine, this song reminded me that I do really have feelings. I'm a person, and I'm alive, and I can choose to exist for nobody else but myself. And once again, I was slowly falling back in love with this community. A community filled with passion and love for this craft. Revisiting the old songs I loved and getting to know the newer artists and their songs and appreciating the newer voice banks as well. I also really want to credit the writing for these lyrics. A lot of these songs have gut-wrenching and really emotional lyrics. It takes me back to when we talked about Wally and Gilda and the art of instrumental storytelling, where when one of the key aspects like dialogue and vocal communication are not present, everything else must work overtime. Similarly here, since it's not technically a real human singing and is a program, which honestly is really surprising to learn in some cases, the lyrics and instrumentals themselves work double time. A lot of these lyrics are filled to the brim with personality and powerful messages about life and existence, and I really do love how creative and passionate this community is. And I would take a bullet for Teto personally. Now, you gotta ask, where's this going? You know, I just trauma dumped on you for about 10 minutes. And honestly, I don't know. To be completely honest with you, this script has been finished for some time. And I'm actually completely transforming what this original video was going to be about. In this script, I devoted so much time to talking about vocaloid culture that I wound up just making this entire video about it. But music has always had a very important hold. But something about this community and the way that they write their material and the way that they're able to execute and tune everything, I really do just enjoy watching so many people be so creative and make a program feel alive. It's almost insane. As you can tell, I have a lot of musical opinions. It probably is a bit of a weird look that the first time we talk about music on this channel, it's talking about Vocaloids. But I think that Vocaloid culture is something that is super interesting that I think a lot of people should look into more. It really is super, super interesting and super, super special. And I think it's definitely worth a listen, or at least a deep dive if you're bored one day. Like, so much emotion is poured into these songs. Like, one song that I really want to give kudos to is Weather Girl by Flavor Flav. I don't know what it is, but I fucking love this song. It's a song about unrequited love and the persistent feeling and yearning for someone else, and it is just such a beautiful song. And it's funny too because there's a contrast of content you would find. Like, sometimes you have a song that talks about existential crisis and the meaning of life and breaking through and becoming your own person despite where you come from or what you're made of. And then there's songs about really wanting to eat someone or about Teto working in a McDonald's. Like, again, this is a community that means a lot to me, and the material that I would consume really does resonate a lot with who I am and who I want to be. You know, someone that makes a mark despite what I lack or what's expected. I could go on forever about this topic, and there are so many songs I could mention. One of them is Danny Don't You Know by Ninja Sex Party, It Girl by Ash Nico. You know, there are a lot of songs that have helped me through this quest of finding my own individuality as a person growing up, and it's just something that I really wanted to talk about. And I thought it would be really nice for the 2,000 subscriber special, to really just sit down with you and talk about something that really, really does actually just mean a lot to me and who I am as a person. These songs and these people, they pour so much emotion and story into every single song. And it really is just so fascinating how something that is effectively a virtual instrument can be tuned and played to such a point that makes just me feel things. It's really just inspiring. Thank you all for watching, and I'm going to leave a link to some songs that I really like below. Please be sure to check them out if you want to. That's about it, everyone. Thank you, everyone, again, for your support. I really can't believe we hit 2,000 subscribers. That is insane to me. More stuff coming from me soon. I'm still working on my art, so this might be the last episode for a little bit, because I do want to start pumping out some like animation practices, because I've been really focused on that lately, and I would love to share some with you. Be sure to also check out my gaming channel. I have been active on there lately because we actually are doing a bit of a challenge run, or a Nuzlocke of a anime MMO, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. One of my favorite games, and it's a third one is coming out, and it's actually been really fun so far, so please check that out. And that is about it. Thank you, everyone. Take care. I love you all, and have a great day.